Hi friends, a very good evening to all of you guys, and this is Tanu from Aussie's Clayton and I'm one of the PTE trainers here guys. So today I'm here because we will be discussing and talking about all the important questions of reading module of PTE. Any question which contributes marks towards reading, we will be discussing all those important questions. I'll be talking about the most important tasks of the reading, the weightage of those tasks and all the details of how to solve those questions. So if you have any question regarding the reading module, please pop up and you can put the question on the comment box and I'll be more than happy to answer you guys. And just in case if I miss any question, I will definitely be answering them all. So you can post it in the comment section. So to begin today's session, first of all, we've got a great news. We had Sampath, we had Kuldeep, we had Joyce, we had lots of students this week who scored a perfect score of 90. And today in the morning also we had one student who has scored a very good score. You will be seeing his scorecard very soon, probably tomorrow or today evening. So the results are coming and I will tell you one short story before I actually begin this session. So guys, I had one student who is given exam 13 times. He came to us and he was struggling a lot. He was very demotivated and he went to some other institute and he prepared by himself, from YouTube, from the lots and lots of resources. But he was not getting his scores constantly in speaking section. And let me tell you guys that the first thing you have to think while studying and preparing for PTE is that it is the most easiest exam. You will never come across an exam which is so easy that you can score a perfect score of 90 in each and 90 overall in all the modules. If you have a look on, if you have ever prepared for IELTS and if you just observe the scorecards, you can see that no student has ever scored that perfect score. But PTE is such an exam that anyone and lots of our students are scoring that perfect score of 90. So guys, first of all, you have to stay motivated and you have to tell yourself that you can do it because it is very easy exam. Continuing the story of that guy. So once he came to us, the first thing I told him was that he has to stop watching all those videos on YouTube, because the more things you consult, okay, the more resources you come across, you will be very confused. So, you have to trust one or two reliable sources which are giving you appropriate information about all the tasks. So please guys, if you are studying at multiple institutes, if you are watching multiple videos, you have to analyze one thing, that which one is most reliable, and trust and follow that path. So we'll begin our session with the first question of reading, which is read aloud. However, this is not a question of reading, but the marks are going towards our reading and speaking section. It is a very important, a vital task for PTE. So if you are preparing for PTE, there are 4 most important tasks. One of them is reading because it is quite highly weightage task. How I know this is that if you come across that Pearson mock exam and you just attempt the speaking section, you don't attempt any of the other questions, you can see that you can get more than 27 marks in your reading just by attempting that one question, which is read aloud. Now in read aloud, what you have to basically do is you have to simply read the text which is on the screen. You get some preparation time and you have to speak that text loudly, naturally and clearly in the microphone. It is an integrated task of your reading and your speaking. Now guys, this is one task which is very easy because we've been reading since I think I was in nursery, or I believe in grade 1, I started reading. But when we are in exam, we lose our focus and we get distracted and we are not able to do this task perfectly. But you have to make sure that when you are sitting in exam, there will be a lot of people sitting next to you. You will be distracted because everyone in that room will be speaking at the same time. So first thing you have to tell yourself is that no matter whoever is speaking, but you are speaking and you are talking to your system only. So you have to talk like the normal talk you are doing with anyone in your day-to-day lives. So please make sure that you are not fumbling Okay, so we've got a question from Deepak. Hi Deepak, and he's asking, ma'am, how to crack fill in the blanks. Deepak, we'll be talking about fill in the blanks very soon. And moving further, I would say that in the read aloud, you have the instructions which says that you have to read the text loudly. Please don't shout, because if you shout, the supervisor will come and ask you to slow down, which is a big distraction for many of us. The second thing is you have to read the text naturally, which means the natural accent. You have to read the text clearly. That means each and every word you read has to be clear. Lots of people from our Telegram group, from our class, they send us, voice recordings. The biggest problem which I've observed with many of the students is they don't open their mouth enough while they are doing the read aloud task. So that is why the words stay in the mouth itself. For example, if I have to say, if I'm describing the read aloud task and I say the same thing with words inside my mouth, it will be like, I can do it, but like this. So, the words are not clear, so the system will not understand what you are saying. It has to be clear. Now, you get 6 to 7 of these tasks, and there are 3 most common mistakes students make while doing this task. First of that is addition of words. So you should not be adding any ers, thers, s or any other word in your read aloud. The second mistake, the second most common mistake the students make is that what happens is when they are reading, they omit the words. Omission of words, which is again the and s. So there should be no omission of words as well. Third mistake the students make is replacement of words. So what happens is when they are reading, they replace in with on, off with for with from, all those sort of things. So make sure you are not doing any of these 3 mistakes, because once you start to do these mistakes, you will not be able to score good marks in this section. And if you are not good with this section, the chances of getting 79 plus in reading and in speaking are very less. And if your target is 79 plus, it is very important to get more than 85 marks in your speaking. However, I'm not saying it's impossible. I've seen students 79 speaking and 79 in other modules, but it becomes very easy if you score 90 or 85 or above in your speaking to score 79 plus in other modules. So speaking, I believe, is the base of the exam. So make sure when you are doing this task, you are not fumbling. Apart from those 3 mistakes, other thing is fumbling. So for example, if you're reading a text and you read it fast, right? You have come across a word which is very hard to pronounce and you stop on that word. You give an unnecessary pause and you fumble. That is a very big issue, guys. So please do not fumble. If you have said something incorrectly, kindly go on with the flow. Because if you fumble again, that will be a disruption, that will be an unnecessary pause, which will definitely affect and impact your scores. So please make sure no addition, no omission, no replacement, no fumbling, no adding of any fillers also in this one. Also guys, another thing is that try to read the text fluently. By fluency, we don't mean that you have to read it super fast. It has to be a moderate speed. And you have to be very careful about the intonations. So you have to know that how fluently you should speak with good pronunciation and with good intonation. So the pitch of your voice should not be very high, should not be very low, and should not fluctuate very much. So if you are careful about all these things, I am sure that you will be able to score good marks in this section. Moving forward to the next question of this exam, which is PTE, and the task reading would be our summaries. This is a question that comes from the writing section. It is called reading and writing summaries or summarize written text. A lot of students don't even know the marks are going towards the reading section. So what happens in this task is that when we are doing this task, we have to summarize the text. We see a text, maybe 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs, and we have to summarize it. But there are key instructions which needs to be followed before we actually do a summary. So the instruction says you have to summarize the text in 1 sentence only. So that means the maximum sentence we can have is 1. The second instruction says the word count. The word count should be 5 to 75 words. Now, how to do this task? As you know, what is the meaning of the word summary? Summary means the overview of something, right? So in this task, you have to write an overview, and it is very hard to write that overview in one sentence. So that's the only hurdle which you will be facing, because we have to comprehend the whole thing in one sentence. Lot of students, they ask me that, ma'am, can we copy and paste the sentence or some phrases from the text? Of course you can do that. You can 110% copy paste sentences also, and you will get marks for that. All you have to do is you have to pick up the right phrase, the right sentence, and that is the key to score marks. Sometimes what you do is you pick up unnecessary sentences. Now, summary means overview. Overview means the most important part of the lecture. What is the lecture actually comprehending? What is the lecture actually trying to say? So summary would not be some unnecessary examples, would not be, a further description of something. It is rather the most important aspect of the topic. So if you are able to figure out that point, and you pick up that sentence or a phrase and join it with another important keyword or a key sentence or a key phrase with the appropriate connector, you will definitely score marks, guys. And another thing is that if you are doing this and you are using this strategy but still not scoring marks, that means you might not be putting in the right punctuation, because whenever you use a connector, you have to use right punctuation also. See guys, in writing there is one rule that needs to be followed. Writing is more or less about grammar, more or less about your spellings and your written discourse, right? And what is your grammar? Grammar is your tenses and your punctuation. So punctuation again is a very important thing. Whenever you are using a connector, you need to use some punctuation. For example, there are the most common connector we use is and, but, furthermore, moreover, however. So all these words, whenever you are using to join a sentence, so join two sentences, you have to put some or use some punctuation marks. So please make sure when you select two phrases, two sentences, you use that as well. And the weightage of the task is not very high, but again it is not very low also. It is somewhere in the 20s. So still it contributes a lot of marks towards both the sections. It has got more marks than your essays. So please be careful while you are doing this task. The third question of the reading section, which gives marks towards reading, is the basic reading section, which begins sometimes with reading and writing fill in the blanks, and it can begin with your multiple choice. So the order of the questions is quite random. So the first question, most of the people they come across is reading and writing fill in the blanks, and I believe that is the question where a lot of us, they do struggle. But if you are struggling with fill in the blanks, I would say please go to our PTE tutorials page. The link is right there, and see our prediction file. The prediction file for the month of April is already out, and it is helping lots of thousands of students, I would say, a lot, and they are getting repeated real exam questions from the fill in the blanks which are there. Also guys, we have a Telegram group named as PTE Tutorial. So if you're part of that group, well and good. However, I would recommend all of you guys to join that group, because it is a very helpful group. The teachers are there 24/7 to help you all. Lots of people, they post their exam memories and the repeated real exam questions also. So coming back to our reading and writing fill in the blanks, in this one what happens is that you read the text and you have 4 or 5 options for one blank. Most of the students, they struggle in this one, and it is also one of the 4 highest weightage tasks of PTE. The marks are going towards your reading and writing, as the name itself suggests. So be careful while you are doing this task. Now the question is how to do this task, as it was posted by, okay, so Garima is, hi Garima, and she's saying how can we add it in that group. Garima, you have to download Telegram Messenger, and once you download that, you can type PTE Tutorials @PTE Tutorials, and you'll be able to join that group. It's absolutely free of cost, and it is quite helpful. Once you join it, you'll see the difference. And coming back to reading and writing fill in the blanks, guys. Now the question is how to do this task, as we have 4 options for one single blank. Guys, there are certain rules and certain, things that you need to know before you actually try to attempt these questions. The first is you need to know what collocations are. Okay, so when you know what collocations are, you can easily solve many of the blanks that you come across in PTE. If you go to Pearson's official page, they themselves have put around 2500 colloquial words, collocations, which are very often repeated in the fill in the blanks of reading and of the reading section. So guys, collocations are the groups of words that are used together, the common words that we used together. For example, with academic, we use academic success. So it is a collocation. For example, we also use academic debate. Okay, so if you know there is a word, there is a blank after academic, and you have the options at the bottom and you know the collocations, you can easily figure out that yes, this is a collocation, and with academic we can use debate, with academic we can use success. There are many of those examples. For example, we say he sustained an injury. Sustain an injury is again a collocation. So if you don't know that, then it becomes very hard to do the fill in the blanks. I don't expect you guys to remember all the collocations, but going through that list is quite helpful to do fill in the blanks. The second thing is there are certain rules of grammar which are very important again, and those grammar rules, it is not printed anywhere that what are those grammar rules. Those are basic grammar rules which I think we were taught when we were kids, but we have forgotten them now. When in my class I ask students what is an adjective, most of them, they don't know what an adjective is. But why it is important to know what nouns, what adjectives, what verbs, adverbs are, because what happens in this task is, if you know that an adjective is a word which describes a noun, and you get a blank after the noun or before the noun, you can easily figure out that where in a sentence can adjective be. For example, adjective is a word that describes a noun. She is a beautiful girl, right? So if you know the word before the girl, there is a blank before the word girl, you can easily figure out that most of the times it will be an adjective. There are lots and lots of examples which you can go across, which you can, give them a good read before you actually start to do fill in the blanks. So try to analyze which word can be used where. If you know what adverbs are. So adverbs are verbs that describes a verb. So it will be very easy for you to figure out where in a sentence can adverb come. For example, we say he walks slowly. Right, so slowly is a adverb, walk is a verb. So where in a sentence adverb comes? After the verb. So if you know all those little things, it is very easy. Just go to Google, type basic grammar rules, and you will come across lots of things. If you just make a page, maybe 10 or 20 rules, you can easily solve out these fill in the blanks. The third and a very important thing is that when you are reading the passage, you have to understand the passage is going in a positive direction, positive note, or at the same time the negative direction. If in the passage begins with a sentence which is going in a negative way, and the word before the blank is and, most of the times the answer would be of the same direction. For example, if there is a blank before a phrase budget deficit, so deficit is a negative word, you can easily figure out that the word before budget would be a negative word too. So guys, all those little things, if you keep in mind, you will be able to easily solve the fill in the blanks. And as I mentioned, you can also go across the April's prediction file, or you can come for classes at Aussie's Clayton, Aussie's Melbourne, Aussie's Thomastown. So we've got 3 branches in Melbourne. We do have offline and online coaching as well. Going on to the next question, which is multiple choice questions. The weightage of the task, be it single answers or multiple answers, is quite low. It is not a very high weightage task. However, I'm not saying that you should not attempt it. many people, they have this misconception that they should not attempt multiple choice questions. Guys, if your target is 79 plus, each and every question matters. But you have to spend very less time on this task. Why? Because it is a low weightage task, and in reading section, you have to allocate time to each and every question. So if you use too much time on MCQ, single and multiple answers, you will not be able to finish the exam. You will not be able to complete the important questions, and we don't want that to happen. In multiple choice, multiple answers, there is negative marking. So again, you have to be careful. There is partial negative, which is a good thing. That means the maximum negative you can get is 0, and you don't get any minus if you do not select a incorrect choice. Going on to the next question is reorder paragraphs. So in reorder paragraphs, it's a very time consuming task, and I believe it is one of the hardest tasks of the reading section. It is much harder than the fill in the blanks, and the weightage of the task is not very low but not very high too. It's a very moderate weightage task. So again guys, please do not use more than 2 minutes on one reorder paragraphs. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is that when you are doing reorder paragraphs, you have to know that the marks are going for the, you will be getting marks for the correct pairs only. That means you will not get a mark if the pair is not right. So you have to figure out 2 consecutive sentences, not the right position. Okay, so the position does not matter. However, what matters the most is the correct pair. How you can figure out the right pair? There are certain strategies which needs to be discussed in detail. For example, I'll give you one quick example. So what happens is that when you are reading, it is very easy to figure out the first sentence, because the first sentence has to be independent sentence. It should not have any pronouns he, she, it in it. It should not have words like they, these in it, because then it becomes a dependent sentence, not an independent sentence. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is that apart from being an independent sentence, it should be an introductory sentence. So that means it should give introduction to a specific topic. So if you have come across that sentence, you have to try and figure out the connection of that sentence with the next sentence, which can happen in 2 ways. One, you can underline the common words between the sentences and you can easily figure out the connection. The second way of doing this is that you know that a sentence is made up of subject plus verb plus object. Many times the object of the first sentence, it becomes the subject of the next sentence. So and most of the times it is not the same words. However, it is a synonymous words, quite well related to that object. So please be careful when you are when you're trying to figure out the connection. It will definitely work if you use any of these 2 strategies. Going on to the next section is our drag and drop fill in the blanks. Again guys, this is not a very high weightage task. However, the weightage is in 20s, which is quite a lot. So fill in the blanks put together, they have a lot of weightage. So make sure you do this task correctly. In this task, what happens is that you have options at the bottom and you have to drag the option to the right blank. So when you are doing it, again the collocations play a very vital role in this section. And apart from the collocations, knowing the context of the passage is very important. Please make sure you read the passage very carefully, because sometimes the answers are given within the passage, but just because we are in a rush, we don't read it carefully. I always tell my students that after selecting all the options, please make sure you read it once. Going on to the next section guys, it is called, for reading, highlight incorrect words. So in highlight incorrect words, it's a question of our listening section, which most of us, again, we don't know that the marks are going towards the reading. Since we read and highlight, the marks are going towards reading, and this task also has got a negative marking. So if you select something which was not said differently, you will get a -1. This task contributes very heavily towards reading section. It has got more marks than your multiple choice. It has got more marks than your reorder paragraphs. So guys, whenever you are doing this task, please make sure you listen very carefully. Most of the times the audios are very fast, so you are not able to understand, or there can be a background noise also. So whenever you are doing this, please make sure that please make sure that you do it very carefully. And guys, apart from that, I would say that okay, so Garima has a question. I've been practicing with material available on website and I've got exam on 13th. What else do I need to do, as my aim is 79 plus? Garima, you need to focus on the 4 most important tasks. The first and the foremost thing you need to do is you have to practice your read alouds, your repeat sentences, your reading and writing fill in the blanks, and write from dictation. So you have to master this task. The first thing you need to do is to master these tasks. After these 4 tasks, there is another 4 important tasks, which are your retell lecture, describe image, your drag and drop fill in the blanks, and your summarize spoken text. So if you are good with these 8 tasks, I believe you can easily get 79 plus. So you know PTE is a total of 20 tasks. However, these 8 tasks are the most important tasks. I don't know in which specific module you are struggling the most, but I would say that these are the most important tasks. So try to look on those, and also go through the April's prediction file. So I believe that that's gonna help you a lot. And guys, you can also see that the links of everything has been posted in the comment section. So if you're struggling with anything, you can click the link below. And we've got another question from Garima. How can we add ourselves? Oh, I've already answered that. Okay guys, so there are total 6 questions that contributes 7 questions that contribute towards your reading section very heavily. And in listening also, when we are doing highlight, correct, summary, when we are doing fill in the blanks, some marks will be going towards your reading, because we are reading also at the same time. So take that thing very seriously, guys. So today's lecture, I believe it conveyed that, read aloud is the task which needs to be focused on most, apart from your reading and writing fill in the blanks. So if you can master your read aloud, your reading and writing and fill in the blanks, drag and drop, and your highlight incorrect words, I believe no one can stop you from getting 79 plus in reading section. And please make sure when you are doing fill in the blanks, try to understand the context. You have to skim through the ideas. I know that many times you come across words you don't know the meaning of, but if you try and understand the context, it becomes very easy to figure out the answer. And if you really don't know meaning of all the 4 words, then I believe flukes sometimes work. Please don't leave it. Always attempt a question, because it is better than not writing anything. And guys, I believe that's it for today. And if you have any other questions regarding your reading section, you can always post them in the comment section. And another thing is, we have got a masterclass coming up on 13th of this month, 13th of April. If your exam is around the corner, any day, if your target is 6, 7 or 8, you can join our masterclass, which is a 7-hour intensive session, which is very helpful in scoring 79 plus or 65 plus or 50 plus if you are struggling with the time as well. It's on a Saturday. The time is from 10 to 5 p.m. sometimes up till 5:30 also. The cost is just $220. So if you want to book that session, you can again go to our website ptetutorials.com, or you can call on 0430887072, and we'll be more than happy to help you and book you and pass this very easy exam. Thank you guys, and good luck with your exam preparation.